Hi everybody, welcome back to Crafty Link, and today we are talking about alcohol inks. Alcohol inks are really fun to work with, and you can use them on all kinds of surfaces. And we're talking in particular about the liquid alcohol inks, and let me just show you what I'm talking about. There's all kinds of brands on the market. This is the Ranger brand, the Adirondacks, and these inks are best worn with gloves because they do get messy and they do stain. These are the Pinata brand, and there's other brands on the market, and they do come in ink pads. And you can actually take apart a Sharpie marker as well, which we'll talk about later. So there are a lot of ways to use the alcohol inks. And by the way, I'm Elisa.
And I'm Kira.
So you've probably seen some of our shows, but we thought we'd introduce ourselves to you because this is our first time doing our Wondrous Wednesday on the Crafty Link channel. And we will be doing this every Wednesday, alternating between putting it on the Polymer Clay TV channel, which we have, and on the Crafty Link channel. So make sure to subscribe so you'll get the new shows. But some of the things that you can do with the alcohol ink is obviously you can use it on paper, and it creates a really neat look on glossy paper, which is a fun way to try it. You can use an applicator, or you can just use a brush, whatever you want to do. You can use it in polymer clay to change the color, and we like to use it in the transparent clay because you still keep the transparency with the alcohol inks, which is nice. So we like that use. If you ever use flowers to add to a mixed media piece or journal or something like what's in Kira's here, you can buy the flowers. They come in just a white color, and you can change the color to suit whatever project you're making by using the alcohol inks. So we use them a lot to color things.
Yeah, they're like a dye. So anything that you want to add color to, including, there's some on my finger. It does get all over you. So I don't care, but what we discovered from Pinterest and from our own experimentation is that whatever's in the alcohol ink is also in these. So, Elisa said you can take the nib out of a marker, so you can like pull this out with a pair of pliers and actually use that as an inking thing. Like, you don't have to think of your Sharpies and Bics as just magic markers anymore. So I'm going to do a little demo at the end and show you how it looks on a glossy surface, and we'll experiment with it a little bit.
Yeah, it looks great on a glossy paper, like for a background for a card or something like that. I really like that look. But you can use it on glass, you can use it on ceramic, you can use it on metal, which is really cool, and you can even use it on a canvas. So let me just show you a few of the things we've made. These are just some votive candle holders, and you're not going to really be able to see the translucency on them because this one's a little dark, but I have this one here, which is, you can see that it's translucent. So what we did was we added a drop or two to the translucent polymer clay to achieve this look. So that's a neat way to add a color and still keep it translucent, as you can see here. So these are just some simple swirls that we did, I don't know, probably 4 or 5, 6 years ago. But I wanted to show you these also. These are some eggs. Well, this might be a little difficult. Let me see, like this. These are some eggs that we made using the Magume Gane technique with polymer clay, but here, if you see the pink, that's really a translucent clay that we added a pink ink to. So you can color clay, but you can also, like I said, do glass. And these are some Christmas balls. Actually, here's a couple. And what I did was I opened it up at the top. These things come out. They're just like on a little springy thing. And I opened it up and I dropped a couple drops right in there, and then I took canned air or compressed air and I stuck the nozzle down in there and went pss, pss, and sprayed it a couple times, and it spreads the ink around. So this one here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually 2 different colors. It's a green as well as a red, and you can add multiple colors You can do it to shaped ones. I did it with this red one. So this was just a clear glass piece I picked up at our local craft store. Added a couple drops, and now I've got something really fun that I can change up. I could add ribbon to it. I can add some beads. I can do anything I want. Maybe a little transfer in the front. So it gives you a way. Oops, it's not broken. It's alive. So it gives you a way to add color to something like this, you know. So thinking outside of the box, which we like to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if you wanted to use it to color your polymer clay, all you would do is just roll your clay out real thin, put a few drops, and then mix it in, either with your pasta machine, your hands, or a rolling pin. So that was like the very first series of videos that we did where we made those votive candles by just taking a translucent block of clay and making it into different colors using the alcohol ink. And alcohol ink doesn't block light the way pigment ink does because it doesn't have particles of pigments in it. It's a dye. So I am going to flip my camera down so you can watch me here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with a cup that I got at one of my local stores for $3.50. It is a glazed plain white coffee cup. And one of the things that I've been seeing going around Pinterest lately is the idea that you could color ceramic pieces, see that? We've got some on the back there, with a Sharpie and then bake it, and it would be permanent. So we know that the Sharpie is basically alcohol ink, so we're going to use our alcohol inks to have even more options so that it's not just a little doodle on the cup, it's actually a full color illustration. So I'm going to flip down and you can watch me play with the alcohol ink for a minute. Okay, so what I have here on my table is the cup and my Sharpies and a selection of inks. And that one's a re-inker. I don't know if this will, it's dye-based by Marvy, so I'm going to use it. And then I also have this, which is the Adirondack alcohol blending solution. So if you wanted an area to be lighter, lighter than you applied it or whatever, you could use this to sort of control it. And then I also have some 91% alcohol, and I also have some felt pads that I cut from a piece of felt. And the reason I have this alcohol is because, especially on a piece of glossy ceramic, you don't want to have any fingerprints or oils on there before you start coloring, because they could mess up your design. So that evaporates pretty quick, so I'll just let it go.
Yeah, also, just to let you know that the alcohol will help to clean up your hands, too, if you do get it on your hands. You can use the alcohol to clean up your hands, because you will get it on your hands if you don't wear gloves, and it stains.
Yeah, true. That is true. And here's a Q-tip, and I'll show you what I need that for in a minute. So the color I'm using is Sailboat Blue. And I'm just going to do a little background stuff because I'm intending to make like a sky. So really, all I'm going to do is put a nice big drop here. And then I'm going to use the felt pad to mush it. Just like mush it around. And it kind of dries like that swirly effect that you see over here. And, you know, this is a tip here. There's a tool you can buy from Ranger for doing this process. That's like $5, and then the refills are $5. It's basically a stick with a piece of felt on it. So you can make your own.
But as you see, that when Kira's putting it on there, it will drip. So that's something you could take advantage of. If you're looking for like a drippy look, you could even do that like on a canvas or on a piece of transparency and get that drippy look, you know, like a melted crayon kind of look.
Right. And melted crayon art is like super hot right now too.
Yeah.
So, and this, you know, you can keep adding until you like what color you've got.
Now, what about drinking out of that cup where you've actually added the alcohol ink?
Well, it's going to be baked, which makes it permanent, and I'm assuming permanent means I can put my lips on it. I mean,
We hope so.
no, the ink is the ink is non-toxic,
So then we should
so
be okay.
I don't think I'm going to die. Of course, if I'm not dead yet, I'm not going to die from my crafting
Oh
guys
yeah, we're gonna live forever.
because
Making crafts, yay!
yeah, I'm like totally the queen of, oh, it's non-toxic. Let me let me push the limits and put this in my mouth, or I don't know. When I was little, my mom taught me to straighten my paintbrushes by licking them.
Oh no.
And she went to art school, so and she survived for a while. So the art school stuff is not what killed her, so
At least you think.
whatever. I don't care. Death by
Hey, we'll
craft.
die happy creating, I guess, right?
Exactly. Death by craft doesn't seem like a terrible way to go. So, so now
We're just teasing.
what I'm going to do here is use this blending solution on one of these, just plain, like this. It squirts out. And I'm going to lighten some of this up here in the front because I'm going to do a little winged heart. So you see the blending solution allows you to sort of pull the color back off. So I'm going to make room here for the wings and the heart. And then over here, I think I'm just going to sort of mush around a little bit more of this color because the blending solution kind of softens it. I mean, I'm having fun here. This is kind of cool. And I'm going to be so excited when I put this in my oven and it comes out like a coffee cup that I can use, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of glass paints on the market, but you
They're
get a different look
expensive.
with those than you would with the alcohol ink, you know?
Yeah. I used to do glass painting and that paint was super expensive. And these are like, you see how little product I'm using, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not really taking a lot.
Yeah, the
Okay.
colors are intense with the alcohol ink.
Yeah, you can see like here I have space now on the front to do this little winged heart thing that I want to try. So I have the Adirondack watermelon is the color. Just going to put a drop there and then use the Q-tip to try to sort of control the motion.
It's kind of like a tie-dye effect, too.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, it's not perfect, which is kind of nice. And then, of course, this crafting sheet, you can just pour your stuff out on it. It acts as a palette. Okay, so there's the heart. And then I'm just going to draw with my markers right over this background. So I have a little selection of markers. I know I wanted to do some like stars in the sky. So I'm going to draw stars.
You could even use a stencil, too, if your drawing skills are, not,
Right?
up to what you think. Kind of like mine. Drawing is not my expertise. So I love to use stencils because you can get a really cool look,
Yeah.
without being a drawing expert.
Mm-hmm. So you can
And all
use,
you would do is tape the stencil around there.
right, totally. Now, if you were going to use a stencil with the inks, you'd really have to get it on there good because they're
Right.
very drippy, like you saw.
Right.
And you'd probably want to use a sort of almost a dry pouncing, not like super wet like I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And put on some little flying wings over here.
So what temperature do you bake this at?
I think most of the recommendations say somewhere between 350 and 400. So I'm going to go for the 400. I mean, why not?
Why not?
Well, you know, I don't want to not have it stay.
I mean, you could definitely experiment and see what works, you know. I guess you would take it out of the oven, let it cool a little, and then wipe at it and see if it comes off.
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean,
So if you find at the lower temperature it's coming off, then I would go higher.
right. All right. So then I'm going to just put, I don't know, write something on here like free. And actually, I can see like the alcohol in the Sharpie is pulling off, kind of acting like a blending thing itself. So you can write on it, you can go back over it. I was looking for my black Sharpie and I can't find it, so I'm going to have to go find that. But basically, I mean, look how pretty that looks.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to bake it.
Yeah. So it opens up a lot of options for using these inks that you may not have thought about. So definitely check them out and play with the different brands and see what you like best.
Right. Yeah, so I hope that that gave you a little bit of inspiration. I mean, you can buy plain glazed ceramic almost anywhere you can get. Like, I saw yesterday at my local grocery store, which is called Randall's, a whole section of plain white glazed ceramic stuff, little sugar bowls and creamers and serving plates and stuff like that. I bet if you wanted to put it like on a serving dish, I'd probably only do the outside. I don't think I'd put it on the part where you were going to put the actual food. Mostly because sometimes you have to scrub those to get them clean, you know, like if you got a piece of pie on there or something. And scrubbing will probably take it off.
Well, that's something to test out.
Yeah.
But I've actually seen those ceramics pieces at the dollar store, so you could do it really expensively. You could maybe make a couple teacups with the actual plate to put the teacup on, and maybe with a little tea, and that would make a really cute gift.
Yeah.
Too, for someone who drinks tea or whatever.
Yeah, or even like plant a little herb in there, you know.
Definitely. So lots of ideas. Definitely pick up the alcohol ink and check it out. It is inexpensive. I think we paid somewhere around $5 or $6 for 3 bottles. Is that what it is? And if you use a coupon at one of the craft stores, it's even cheaper, which is always nice. Yep. So we have a lot of things going on. On Tuesdays, we have a live craft demos on what we call Tuesday Schmooze Day. So definitely check that out at Crafty Link, CrafttyLink.com, and join the Tuesday Schmooze Day group. It's free, and you can watch the live demos with us. We have a lot of challenges going on in that same community all the time to check out. You can check out the blog at thingscrafty.com. You can check out Kira's website at kirasly.com or mine at emeraldearth.com.
And if you're into polymer clay, you can go to polymerclaytv.com.
Yep. So we'll see you next Wednesday over at polymerclaytv.com and at that channel, because we have another channel called Polymer Clay TV. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining
us.